What's going on, everybody? My name is New Yorker, and welcome to episode 7 of Cream Soda Revolutions. This time, I have managed to bring back my special guest from yesteryear. Say hello, Atsushi.
Hello.
There we go. How you doing, man?
Good.
Excellent. We are going back in time once again. Unlike previous episodes where I go forward in time and review unreleased music, this week we're talking about an album from 1980.
One of those.
One.
Yeah.
This is probably their best work. This is Moving Pictures by Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, Moving Pictures is a triple entendre because it's like motion picture, right? But on the cover, it's people physically moving pictures into a painting. But then on the edges, there's people being like emotionally moved. So they're moving pictures.
Wow.
And then finally on the back, there's people filming it. So it's a moving pictures about movers moving pictures.
Thanks, Alex. Piece of shit.
Fucking Lifeson, Alexander Life the Stooped a Bits or whatever the fuck his name is. All right, so you know the drill, blah blah blah. Let's get started. Song number 1, Tom Sawyer.
Yep.
As in the Mark Twain tale. Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, all that shit. If you have only heard one Rush song, there is a very high chance this is the one Rush song that you have heard. This song gets played on basically every rock radio station about every 35 minutes, or at least it does here in Canada, because there's like 5 good Canadian rock bands, and we can't just loop Rush and Neil Young for fucking hours on end.
And you wouldn't want to. With
yeah, not that we would want to loop them anyways. But yeah, so this is I mean, you gotta give it to these guys. As far as writing this song is concerned, because it's consistently been a part of their live act. I don't know if they've had a tour where they haven't played Tom Sawyer at some point during the concert. When I saw them a couple years ago, they played this song. They played this song on Time Machine, which was the tour before that. I think they play it on basically every single friggin' tour. It's a good song. You know, it's proggy. There's a 7/8 section. There's the Alex's guitar solo alternates between a bunch of different something over 16 things. So, which is really just someone being like, he just made up a bunch of stuff that wasn't in any time. We have to put time to it. Yeah. But whatever. I guess one criticism about this song, and the one thing that's specifically really good about this song, the criticism is, and I bring it up every week, not a great song to open an album with. And I only say that for one reason, and that is because there are other songs on here that have more of a build to it. And personal taste, but I prefer opening songs to have a little bit of a build to it. And this song doesn't. This song pretty well just starts. And then the thing that's cool about it is this song, in particular, compared to the rest of the songs on the album, this song is the one that I guess really shows, it exemplifies 70s Rush going into 80s Rush, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because 80s Rush was, but don't listen to most of 80s Rush. 80s Rush was weird. They cut their hair for some reason. It was all synth stuff. There were like 4 good songs. But this song really sort of gives you an idea of previous Rush in, I guess, Rush to Be sort of mixing together, and in a bit more of a sense, more of a I don't know, an explicit sense compared to some of the other tracks on here, which are a little more one way or the other. Speaking of which, next, Red Barchetta. I'm not even looking at a list, and I know that's the next song.
Wow.
There's 7 songs on this album. It's not hard to figure out. Yeah. Red Barchetta. This is probably my favorite song on here. I say that now, but I mean, dude, this song is like all really good songs. Like half of Rush's best known songs on this album half of Rush's best known songs are from this album. But yeah, Red Barchetta, This one's cool for two specific reasons. Firstly, the lyrics and the themes and stuff like that. This one is Neil, because the drummer's the smart one. Fucking take that, bass players. Drummer can be the smart one too.
Except for Lars.
Shut up. We don't mention him. But yeah, so Neil wrote the lyrics to this after reading a short story, I think it was. And it's about a world where cars and gasoline are illegal because it's a safety hazard or something like that, which I can kind of understand. They touched on this in iRobot, for example. And it's about this dude whose uncle has kept like an old, and I looked it up, a Barchetta is old. A Barchetta is from like the early 60s, late 50s. Like it's an old race car. But he has this Barchetta, which is an old Ferrari race car, hidden away like in his barn, and the kid goes on a joyride and he gets chased by cops and stuff. It's cool. And then secondly, this song, and then the Camera Eye does this as well, have almost like a classical music method of composition to it. And what I mean by that is introduce theme, repeat theme, theme variation, back to original theme, like bridge, secondary, like additional theme, back to original theme,
right.
You know, like where it's, here's one thing, let's see how many different ways we can do the one thing.
Yeah, and then end with the way we started.
Yeah, and then end with basically exactly the same way they started it. And the Camera Eye does this as well, though the Camera Eye is more of an evolution of the same theme. Like, it doesn't go back to the same thing again. Or in a loose sense, but anyways. But yeah, so super fun. One of the more fun songs, and not just fucking balls to the wall hard for a drummer to play. I can't speak for anyone else because every other instrument is inferior, but I'm sorry. But yeah, do you have anything to add for these first two? Big guy.
Red Barchetta. How long is the second
Red
track?
Barchetta's like 6-ish minutes.
And Tom Sawyer's about 4-ish?
5, I think, is a good guess.
Yeah, I kind of disagree about Tom Sawyer being a bad open. Like, it might not be the best, but I think
Tom Sawyer is a great song to open a concert, and it's a great song to open the encore of a concert. It is not a great song to open an album, because if you're starting a concert, the point is energy.
Right.
If you're starting an album, it's not. The second song is energy.
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
At least in my personal opinion, that's how I would argue it. But please continue, Dick. Who's wrong? This is my podcast. My opinions are right.
As I was saying, I think Tom Sawyer is a good opening song, and just overall, it kind of gets this message across of who they are as a band, and their sound in general, in a fairly, for them, fairly concise kind of radio friendly song. Because some of their stuff, like 2112.
Yeah, like if there was like a radio version and an album version of this song, and the album version was like a minute and a half longer and had more of an intro, then yes, I would 100% agree with you. I do think the sound is indicative of Rush. It's kind of almost like Rush for Dummies in a song. I kind of get that vibe. I get that for sure. I would perhaps argue Spirit of Radio does that better. But that's not this album.
No.
So get out of here. Song number 3, YYZ, because we say Z in Canada, bitch. YYZ, fun fact, and I tell people this all the time, and either they actually forget, they hate me for telling them, or they didn't know to begin with.
Or like me.
The beginning of YYZ, the ding, 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 and then when with the guitars and stuff do the same rhythm, that is YYZ in Morse code. Ding, 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 Y, ding, 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 Z.
I like how you remembered.
Fun times. Fun times. But yeah, so it's YYZ in Morse code. And what is YYZ? That is the code for Pearson International Airport, which, fun fact number 2, is 10 minutes from where I live.
There you go.
It's the main airport in air quotes Toronto. It's really in Mississauga, but it's almost in Toronto. It's the big one for international flight and stuff from there. This one's an instrumental. Back when you could put instrumentals on your albums and not get pissed. To be fair, I mean, no one critically liked Rush anyway, so whatever. Apparently their record label was it their record label this time? Yeah, it was. Okay, that's why it was. Anthem released this one, which was essentially them, so they could get away with doing an instrumental. I mentioned this for both of my listeners because part of having a commercially viable album, which is a requirement for a record deal, is depending on the genre of music, no instrumentals. So if you're a jazz trio, then it's fucking all instrumentals. But if you're like a punk band, you can't put out an instrumental. Right. Rock bands normally couldn't put out instrumentals, but this was essentially self-released, so they could get away with it. Yeah. Anyway, good instrumental. I think it was either Grammy nominated or Grammy winning. Nominated. Damn it. It introduced 5/4 to Idiots, which is a fun time signature. I am a fan of 5/4.
Yeah, 5/4. Yeah, it's great.
5/4 is fun. Doesn't beat 7/4, I think, or 7/4 or 7/8. Anything in 7. I like 7. Anyways, now that I've lost one of my two listeners and the other one's sitting here with me, anyways, yeah, fun instrumental. It's a rocker, you could say.
Oh, those kids letting their rockers.
They're them rock and roll music. Dang nabbit.
With their Elvis.
And their devil worship. Next, people. I guess. I have no idea where to go from there. It's a good song, which you should have figured out by now.
And really fun to play.
It is fun to play. I like how one last thing about the song. I like how at any given section, either it's a bitch for the drummer or it's a bitch for the other two.
Yeah.
It's never both. It's either super easy drum song, fucking 16th triplet bullshit, or fucking my right hand is killing me. Single notes. Fuck yourself. That's fun. And I like the almost like, again, sort of like a different genre style. This time jazz, almost like trading fours, except it's trading ones and twos. But like the trading solos in the bridge between Jetty, the bassist in Niall, the drummer.
Niall P. Art.
Anyway, next, Limelight, also known as the first Rush song that I learned to play. Probably a lot of people's first Rush song. This is a kind of like Rush light. Like it's kind of easy. It's not particularly complicated. Radio friendly as well. This one is cool for the lyrics and the lyrics only, because this is somewhat autobiographical from Neil. This is about how he doesn't like all the attention and stuff. Not like being a whiny bitch, but he's like.
I mean, he quit the band at one point too, right?
Yeah. He left the band when his wife died. He kind of left the band to ride around on his motorcycle for a couple of years. I don't think it was a couple of years. I think it was like a year. He just rode around Canada and the States on his motorcycle. And Geddy and Alex are like, well, we can't do anything without him, so we're gonna wait for him. You know,
it's pretty hard to replace.
But it's about how he's a shy person. He's not an outgoing person, and he doesn't like media attention. Like he appreciates people being like, your music's great, but he doesn't like he's not a fan of like paparazzi and stuff like that. Right. And whenever the band does like VIP passes stuff for tickets and they have like the meet the band thing, Neil is never there. You know, it's always Alex and Geddy, because Neil just can't handle people. And this song is really exemplifying that. Anything you want to add for YYZ and Limelight, Limelite?
YYZ, fun song overall. It's just really pumping.
It is pumping.
Pump it
up.
Limelight, yeah. The only thing I really remember would be the lyrics, like you said. That's kind of like the standout point of the entire song, I'd say, really. Yeah, like, for better or for worse, Limelight, again, is kind of Rush light. So it's good thing, because they probably made a bunch of money off of it. Yeah. But in the same way, it's refreshing to not have to be fucking have your French English dictionary sitting there next to you. Real Rush fans know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, it's also I don't know, almost half-assed, but not quite. It's still a good song. Anyways, next, The Camera Eye, which is also one of my absolute favorite songs on here. The Camera Eye is I think this is their
most recent song to date that's over 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm
over 30 years.
in over 30 years.
Wow.
Despite all of their original albums, aside from literally their first one, like being entirely composed of like 15-minute songs.
Right.
Like Hemispheres is long as hell.
Oh, yeah.
2112 is long as hell. Farewell to Kings is like entirely just long as hell songs. Farewell to Kings is like 3 songs, and each one's 15 minutes long. I'm exaggerating. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so
Stop being a bitch.
Camera Eye, right? It's long. It's fun, and this song is cool. I mentioned this before. I'm explaining why this song is cool. I mentioned before how Red Barchetta, it takes a bit of a cue from classical music in its composition. This does kind of the same thing, but what the Camera Eye does is, instead of here's a theme, let's see how many different variations it is, it's here's a song, let's do a variation on the song.
Yeah.
You know, like the first 5 minutes is the New York part of the song, where it's about the people and the culture and the vibe of New York, and it goes through this whole build thing up to the end of it, and then boosh, and it goes right back down to almost essentially how the song started, and it does the whole thing with a bit of a different vibe, and the second half is the London half. So London, England, clearly, and
London, Africa.
Yeah, London, South Africa, not to be confused. And the second half has a different vibe, but it's the same song-ish. Like, they go through the same sections. The verses are pretty well the same thing. It's just the feel and the instrumentation to some degree. And I love that about this song. You know, I am a sucker for long songs that have a reason for being a long song. So I like stuff, for example, from Arcade Fire, because, like, yeah, it's a 7.5 minute song, but really, what could you cut from that 7.5 minute song?
It needs the kind of build.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, it's long. That's it. I don't know. And the Camera Eye is also kind of almost like tying into the theme, almost going from Limelight, being like he doesn't like being in the camera eye. Hey. Next, Witch Hunt, which amazingly they have actually played this song live. I don't know how they did it. Witch Hunt. One thing, this is just sort of a fun fact about Rush in general. Rush normally take into account that for most of the songs that they write, that they're going to have to play them live, but they always give themselves at least one song, like usually 1 or 2 on each album, that they're like, let's just produce the fuck out of this and do a whole bunch of stuff that we would have, in the very least, a lot of trouble redoing live.
Right.
And Witch Hunt is that song on here. Like, it opens with a whole bunch of like samples and stuff that they somehow came up with. I don't know how they did it. They did a lot of it on like a keyboard that had some cool fucking sounds on it, apparently.
Yep.
And then the percussion part, the building percussion part, once a song, I guess, starts in earnest, like, no human can do that. I've tried. No human can do that without some part of it playing at the same time.
But they've done it live, right?
They've done it live with a backing track.
Oh, okay.
A backing track did some of it. He did a lot of it, to be fair. But there was a backing track.
So how did they get it to be the way it is on the actual album then?
Fucking Pro Tools or something? I don't know.
Pro Tools 1981?
Okay, not Pro Tools, but you know what I mean. They were like, here's a cowbell. Dong, dong, dong. Okay, let's record over it again. Here's with like some shakers or something. Right. I don't know. This one's, there's sort of 2 things that I get from this song. One is the initial listening, I guess, which is fear. The song is scary. And 2, which is subsequent listenings, which is almost like pity, in quotation marks, because the song is about people, it's about mob mentality, and it's about how one person claims that there's a problem. Maybe there is a problem, but someone just has to say there's a problem with something, and all of a sudden everyone's out on a fucking vendetta after that something. Exactly. Hence Witch Hunt. Like, I love the line in it, quick to judge, quick to anger, slow to understand. You know, which is a fucking, spend 10 minutes on Tumblr and you will see that. You know? So, this is one more somewhat fun fact. This is part of a series of songs across albums called the Fear series. for a good reason. There's also it's this one, and then there's The Weapon from Signals, and The Enemy Within from Grace Under Pressure, and Freeze from Vapor Trails. One of those albums is good. Singles. I'm sorry, 80s Rush was...
80s anything is pretty goddamn bad.
I mean, Wham was pretty fucking good. I was woken up before I go-goed. Okay, last song on the album, because there's only 7 songs, but somehow it took me 20 fucking minutes to talk about them. Last song, Vital Signs.
Heartbeat.
There's some reggae stuff to it. There's some electronica stuff to it.
When
Fuck off!
No, that was intentional. When you say reggae stuff, do you mean like all there was really was they were
not like the one tiny section in Spirit of Radio, like the rhythms and the instrumentation.
Like, is
at
it
the
like
beginning.
an intricate reggae type?
No, it's reggae influence, not reggae.
Okay. Yeah, I don't expect Rush to do a serious reggae song. That would be
well, they did a serious reggae section in fucking I just said it, Spirit of Radio. So fucking why not?
I mean, yeah.
They like that. Neil Peart's a big fan of the Police, and they're 3/4 of the way to reggae.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vital Signs. It's, I don't know, if there's one song on here, I guess that's the blandest. It's gonna be Vital Signs.
Yeah.
There's synth to it. It's
of course.
It's about. Literally, it's literally about like an electronic system that's having trouble with stuff, but I think it's supposed to be about like people or something, like living with like a mental disorder or something. I don't know. Maybe it's about cyborgs. Fuck it. It's about Cyborg from the Teen Titans. You know, it was written by him, and it was sung by Geddy Lee, and that's how Neil every time you open an issue of Teen Titans, a song plays.
That's how Neil actually plays all those intricate drum parts.
He is Cyborg. Yes, he's actually black.
And
he's
bald.
And he's 30 years younger. I'm sorry, Neil. You're good.
You're good.
You're good.
You're good.
Oh man. Do you have anything to add for for side 2?
Not really. Like I wish I did, but no.
Yeah, there's not a lot. So, as per the norm, see what I did there? Because normally I say as usual.
Yeah, that was really smart.
Bam, bam.
We got.
See, I was deviating from the norm.
No?
Boosh Rush reference. Fucking, that's a line from Vital Signs. Everybody got to deviate from the norm. It's a line from Vital Signs. Jeez, thanks. I don't do jokes on this podcast anymore. I've grown up. I'm a better man.
Like Eddie Vedder.
I'm a better man.
Okay, let's.
I have no fucking clue what the hell they talk about for this album, though. It was popular. It sold really well. I already talked about the cover art, so like I can't even.
Yeah, and wait, hold on though. And you said it was the last good Rush album for a while, right?
Until the mid-90s.
Yeah, but why?
Because they became fucking synth rock. They lost the prog part of progressive rock, and they just became aggressive. Synth-gress. Yeah, they regressed. Whoa. See, it even says right here on their Wikipedia page, synthesizer period, 82 through 89. Some of the songs are good. Subdivisions is a fantastic song. New World Man is a pretty good song. Time Stand Still is okay. That was about it. And then in the 90s, they came back with Presto is all right. Roll the Bones was okay. Snakes and Arrows is a pretty good album. Test for Echo, which is before that, was all right. But that was Test for Echo was right after Pert's wife and daughter died. But then Snakes and Arrows again, good album. Clockwork Angels is a really good album. And the only one I'm missing is Vapor Trails, which was actually okay. Vapor Trails was, I don't know, it was all right. It left a trail in our hearts. Anyways, yeah, I mean, really, if you're going to listen to one Rush album, this would probably be it.
Yep.
You can make an argument for 2112, but
I
would argue for the song 2112.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a good total experience.
Passage to Bangkok's a good song.
Yeah, Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone's okay. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, and this was really the to use a big boy word, this is the pinnacle of their mainstream success is with moving pictures. Again, like half of the well-known Rush songs are from this album. Limelight, Tom Sawyer, YYZ to some degree, Red Barchetta. You know, like shit. Fucking what else could you know other than
it's like
2112, maybe.
Spirit of Radio.
Spirit of Radio and
Working Man? Is that one?
Working Man, yes, but Working Man was from their first album, so yes and no. Fucking
La Villa Sergiana?
No. The one with the tubular bells.
Closer
to the heart.
Yeah.
That's it. There you go. But I mean, again, like that's half of their well-known, moderately popular songs. It's like
their greatest hits album, except it isn't.
It kind of is like a greatest hits album, but it was all new stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's if they could have kept it up, that would have been great. But I mean,
yeah, I mean,
you gotta progress.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta progress, and I, as much as I personally dislike their '80s period, I can respect them for growing through it. You know, like at least they experimented and stuff. Neil Peart helped to popularize electronic drums during that section back when they were all hexagons. Like, look at this, they're so funny.
Good Lord.
They're so funny. Look up the video for Pour Some Sugar on Me. He has drums like that. They're red though, they're cool. They're hilarious. Anyways. Yeah, so I mean it's good. I don't know what else to say about this one. It's good. If it means anything, it's part of 1,001 albums you missed a year before you die.
Yep. So it's 2112. So if you're gonna listen to any Rush albums, listen to this one and listen to
this one, then listen to side A of 2112.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like Rush, then listen to all of 2112. Yeah. But if you want to hear how to do a 20-minute song, listen to the song 2112.
Yeah.
20 minutes and 36, 34.
I just keep guessing these
seconds. To the internet, how long is that song? It is 34.
Damn,
nice.
I'm good.
Nice. And fucking want to talk about classical music. Fucking the first part of that song is literally called Overture, and then the last part is literally called Grand Finale.
Yep.
Oh man. Anyway, that's all I could talk about with this one. The problem with this one is that like this album has been a part of me, I guess, for years. So like
it's hard to
I can't talk about it critically a lot because it's like this song means so much to me, man. Yeah, but analyze it. It's good.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm gonna move on to my music geek, which I have no fucking clue what the hell my music geek is gonna be. I guess it's gonna be actually I have an idea. I keep fucking talking about this, but I'm going to talk about Sound Evolution again, and I'm sorry, guys, both of you. Fucking start sending me hate mail already. You know, signed self-addressed envelope so I can send you a reply to your anus, care of go fuck yourself, LL Cool J. There we go. That's the zip code. Is LL Cool J. LLCOOLJ. There we go. But yeah, I'm going to talk about evolution of sound, and I know I am getting as many nickels out of this dead fucking horse as I can, but I keep beating it, okay? Beat a dead horse until it stops coughing up money.
Okay.
I'm using a saying. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, that's the saying I know.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to talk about evolution of sound, and I mentioned it. 80s Rush is 80s. I don't like it. I know some people like it, but 80s Rush is sort of like either you like the rest of Rush or you like 80s Rush. It was a product of its time, which I can appreciate, but so my music geek is, I guess I'm going to tie it into some other ones that I've done before, and that is to make this one unique, being a product of your time. Now, you could make the argument that I'm making the exact same complaint about 80s Rush that someone might make about, say, Arcade Fire, about Melophobia from Cage the Elephant, about...
Really? So long as they've...
I'm being specific here. About every pop artist in the past 6 years, about...
Chili Peppers, Radiohead. They both went...
No.
I mean, Radiohead made that pretty big jump from OK Computer...
Yeah, I mean, I'm...
to Kid A. Right?
Arcade Fire, Melophobia... What Went Down from Foals, which is coming out, and Inhaler, or sorry, not Inhaler,
Breather.
Holy Fire, that's it, Breather, from Foals. And what I mean is the music that may in 25 years prove to be a product of now. Like, again, you listen. I grew up listening to Top 40 radio because when I was 7, Top 40 radio was light rock. You know, it was shit like Bedouin Soundclash. It was shit, come on, they had one good song. Their one song that was popular was pretty good. It was stuff like Bare Naked Ladies was on the radio. Oh shit, what's it called? I mean, like, when I was really young, like, boy bands and stuff were on the radio too, but like it was light rock, a lot of it, you know. It was kind of between pop and rock and sort of dance occasionally, but a lot of it was dude with acoustic guitar, you know, and I was fine with that, you know. Some of that stuff sucks, but some of it's really good. And then I remember it was when I was like 11 or 12, it started changing. And then when I think it was 14 or 15 is when my mom, who used to have control of the radio, finally stopped going back to Top 40 radio because it was all dance stuff, you know, like either it was dance stuff or commercially successful emo. You know what I mean? Like the one Fall Out Boy song that was popular, or like Mariana's Trench.
Yeah,
you know, which is
all that.
So no, My Chemical Romance wasn't popular enough.
No,
you know, the Fall Out Boy had one or two songs that were super popular like that. I think Panic at the Disco has had one. My Chemical Romance maybe. No, Blood on the Dance Floor has never been popular. They've always been garbage. Blood on the Dance Floor is so
one weird.
Blood on the Dance Floor isn't quite the same though, because Blood on the Dance Floor is more goth and terrible. You know, like there are redeeming qualities. I'm gonna offend a lot of people. I'm okay with Fall Out Boy. I don't like Panic at the Disco, and I like about 3 songs from My Chemical Romance. They have redeeming qualities. It's not for me, but I can understand why other people would like it. Blood on the Dance Floor is just garbage. They're just terrible. And if you're the one person who likes Blood on the Dance Floor, congratulations, because you are paying for their Starbucks right now. Single-handedly. Well done. But anyway, so my point is, pop music right now is really a product of its time. The same thing as 80s pop music. It's almost the same shit, but the synthesizers sound better now. Yeah. You know? Now, personally, my fingers are crossed for grunge 2.0, but not necessarily grunge, but you know what I mean? Movement. The 90s. Yeah. You know? That would be great. Personally, my fingers are crossed for 90s too, but 90s too. 90s harder, the resurrection.
The reckoning.
Oh man, but starring Kurt Cobain's Ghost. I'm sorry. Is it too soon? It's been 20 years.
No, it's funny. It's hilarious.
It is funny.
Make fun of them all the time.
Yeah, death jokes are the only good jokes. Anyways, so you can make a huge argument that pop music right now is a product of its time, and I'm making an argument as well that in a way, rock music, again, not Mariana's Trench. Rock music kind of is becoming a product of its time as well. You listen to Melophobia, you listen to I guess in a way any Arcade Fire, you listen to again, What Went Down, I can't really speak for, we only know 2 songs from it, but definitely Holy Fire. They're all going in the way of art rock. They're all becoming, I mean, Arcade Fire always was, but Cage the Elephant, you hear Thank You, Happy Birthday, and then you hear Melophobia, and if it were not for the singer, they would sound like different bands. Like, they're very different albums. Both good, fortunately. But, like, sound is sort of going in that why does it have to be a 4-piece rock band sort of thing?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Which I'm cool with.
yeah.
I like that shit. But I'm worried that it's sort of just becoming hip to do that. You know? So
I mean, yeah, I guess.
So
you take a look at something like Way Home, right? Which everyone's into. And it's mostly indie artists or like these kind of art rock, indie rock type guys, you know, and the occasion, like the one Neil Young.
Specific example from Way Home. Fucking
I can think of
Modest Mouse played Way Home. And
yeah,
new Modest Mouse is more art rock, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Decemberists, all that.
Like, and then the other thing that I guess you could argue is sort of blending shit together. Like, I like Brave Shores, and I wouldn't say Brave Shores is pop. I wouldn't say Brave Shores is dance. It's sort of a lot of things together.
Yeah.
So my point, bringing it around back to Rush, my point is, in a way, you can't really blame 80s Rush because it was a product of its time, you know? I mean, I'm still going to blame it. It fucking sucks to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, whatever. You have opinions, that's all.
Yeah, it's my podcast, my opinions, damn it. That's what I'm going to rename this. Welcome to my podcast, my opinions. On this episode, Why Shit My Dad Says was the best show ever and shouldn't have been canceled. I'm kidding. So, my point is that, my point bringing this around specifically to this album, one thing I like about Moving Pictures is it was on the cusp, you know? It was enough of 80s Rush to be a little bit different and to be more commercially successful and to be more accessible in general.
But a lot of it
was still the core prog rock stuff. So, unless you have anything else you want to say, I think we're just about done.
One last thing before I go. I hate the 80s, so there you go.
The 80s had a lot of good things, just not necessary. No, some of the music was good. Some 80s music was good.
Like, or at least
there's a bunch. Fucking Genesis.
I mean, no, like the top 40, like the classic rock, like radio type stuff that they keep playing over and over. You know, like it just gets to you sometimes. Like you listen to, I already mentioned the song, but the fucking Rockin' Me Baby, like
it's okay.
Like you said a long time ago, once you become a drummer, you think less like a music lover and more specifically like a drummer. That's the same thing for me as a guitarist. That's why
Rush in a way is musician's music and old 45-year-old sweaty white man music.
Yeah, anything even remotely complex at first I hated, and then now anything remotely simplistic I almost hate. You know?
I don't know. I kind of
or not remotely, just overly simplistic.
When I first started playing drums, I was you, absolutely. Like I loved the Beatles until I started playing drums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess in the past 2 years, they've sort of come back around to appreciating simplistic writing.
There's a duality in that too. It's either you have stuff that goes over way too many people's heads, or you have stuff that's just right. You know.
Yeah, like there's really either you can definitely do too little. You can absolutely do too little, but
you can also do too much.
But yeah, like there's a sweet spot of it doesn't need more than this.
Yeah.
Let's not make it any more excessive.
Yeah, a bit of self-indulgence. That's all music is when you think it's just you living out your fantasy of just making nice sounding sounds, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just sometimes you want to do stuff in 7/8, and I can appreciate that because that's not too wacky of a time signature. It's kind of different, but it's not like some kind of weird 13/16. It's nothing too much, you know. Whereas you don't want to always stick to 4/4 because that's too simple, you know.
Yeah. You know, definitely. It's a thing that you sort of have to either embrace one or the other, or fucking do whatever. You know, do what you want.
Yeah.
And I mean, ultimately, fucking do what you want. But
it's your music, so
it is your music. True words. So that is episode 7 of Cream Soda Rev Your Lutions. I have been New Yorker. This has been Atsushi. Say goodnight.
Good night.
Bye.
Dongle.